Homestead, Danny Duran, Gold Castle podcast. Thanks for tuning in. Today was kind of heavy for us to witness a beautiful memorial about, Charlie Kirk. And as someone who's from Tucson, Arizona, it was down the street, in Phoenix. And it was already packed, but I know that Isaiah Salvador was there, Donald Trump, and musicians and all Christian musicians like Chris Tomlin and that Pastor Vlad and many other people were there. Many other people who are believers of Jesus Christ, and it was a beloved Sunday. It was a beloved church service, and it was what Charlie would have wanted, and for his wife to come up there to that pulpit and just say that her husband was beloved. He taught us how to stop being boys and just start being men to marry a woman, and for us to be responsible, for us to stick by her and be a man to take care of the kids, take care of like the family. We have to man up and take that type of solitude. The Bible says, like we are royal, priesthood, but what it means to truly be a priesthood is that we are dedicated to Jesus Christ to the point where we are going to obey him. We are going to serve and be the man of a household for your wife and kids, and the Bible says that your kids are your bow and arrows in your quiver, and so we must take that responsibility with, like what Charlie said, and his, one of his friends, I forgot what his name, but he said that he was in the car after the incident happened. People rushed him to the vehicle, and he just hopped into that car. He jumped in there, and he said that Charlie was way too tall, that they couldn't close the door because his foot was in the way. He was a tall man, and but then when he saw that Charlie was looking up, like he knew that he was with the Lord already. And he did say that when they were at the hospital, they had a pulse, one little pulse, you know. But the doctors, they tried more, But like what he said, Charlie was with the Lord, and the way how it is right now when it comes to just following, Christianity these days, we have to know that it's a battle right now, and I just want to say that I'm coming out with my own short film called Maintenance. The actors that I picked was Scott Aukis and John Dune. Like Tucson actors in Arizona. It was a fun way. It was a fun experience. Like just to get those two guys, to work on a film with me. And my next film is going to be a little bit of a horror flick, but we want to twist it up into a good, solid, lighthearted ending. So it's going to be called Luminary, and it's gonna be involved with what spiritual warfare is, like the spirit realm, and like how like how we slay the negative energies around us, and I just want to touch up on that the upcoming new movie with Nicolas Cage. I don't know what it's called, but he's trying to be Joseph and talk about like Jesus, like being born and then suddenly it's supposed to be a demonic twist to it, which is kind of pure evil, like just to mess with like that type of story, of course. And he was attacked by a swarm of bees, you know, like all the bees like that he was stung by, like that has to mean something, like even from a secular perspective, like if you're gonna make a movie like that, about Jesus Christ like that, I mean, he gets attacked by bees. I mean, that's got to tell you something already, and it's getting hectic right now. People are saying that the rapture is going to happen on the 23rd, and but nobody knows the day or the hour. Jesus says that of my return, that's not for you to know except the Father. So a pastor, well, I'm not sure if he's a pastor, but it was a man, from I believe he's from Kenya, I believe, but he was on another talk show. Like he did talk about that he was supposed to he saw Jesus, that's what he said, and then Jesus told him face to face that I'm coming back on the 23rd, specifically on the 23rd, 2025, and he got that revelation like in 2016. and he was in this walk, like for a while, but the Bible does say, like it's not for you to know the return. So that's when confusion happens. Like Jesus said that there's gonna be so many people who are gonna say, "Oh, look at yeah, there he is. He's coming. Yeah, look at that's him. The Son of Man is here." Like so that's not that's confusion. And right now we're dealing with so many mass shootings right now. It's ridiculous. It's not a gun problem. It's a spiritual problem right now. Like what Pastor Isaiah Saldivar said. Like he's right. It is a spiritual demonizing problem at the moment. It's a it's a struggle right now for people. And if you're a secular person who likes just like world continent, like just popularity, like who's saying this and who's doing that, who's dating who, like you have to wake up now and realize that a lot of things aren't being unusual right now. And it's it's like what happened at the ABC headquarters. Like they were demanding for Jimmy Kimmel to come back on and talk about like I mean just a show in general, pretty much. And they shot out the ABC. Like that's what he did. Like the headquarters, like like somebody demanded. This person probably likes Jimmy Kimmel a lot. That this person probably went to his shows like every single day and every single night, maybe. But no, well, not day, but night. Like it's a late night host show. But I did see Guillermo. I did see like him and his wife. Like Jimmy and his wife like leaving that place. Like he was just wearing that blue collared shirt, and I heard like all of his staff were shocked. And like that actress who voiced that skunk from Over the Hedge. She was also in Evan Almighty as well with Steve Carell. She was just that lady with that funny voice. She's that comedian, but I forgot her name. But she was supposed to be a guest in the show that night. But she found out that they're gonna cancel his show for that night. And she's like, oh, freedom of speech, like freedom of speech is canceled now, like we can't talk about anything, and that guy Bateman, I forgot his name, but he's the one who voices that fox from Zootopia. He was with that movie with Melissa McCarthy. I forgot his name, but Jason Bateman, I think. Yeah, Jason Bateman. Like he was talking about, like, oh, freedom of speech, and like he's supporting Jimmy Kimmel, like, oh, freedom of speech cannot be tolerated anymore, and like freedom of speech cannot, be accepted anymore in in this country. Wow. But guys, Look what happened to Charlie. He lost his life for freedom of speech. I mean, you guys are complaining about Jimmy Kimmel and losing your jobs because of your silly little dark humor, but you guys don't see what happened to Charlie. He was speaking, like truth, like he was telling what we need to do to change, what we need to do to get to the bottom of things of growth, and that's what cost him his life. But you guys want to complain about somebody who has dark humor as a late night show host, which is very sad because everybody just likes dark humor these days. Like dark humor has gone up. It's gone up more than perverted humor, like in movies or comic shows or related humor. Related humor is when like kind of like Gabriel Iglesias, like he talks about his life, like scenarios, and how he can tell into a story that's funny, which we can all relate to because that's what we do with each other. We talk about, oh, this happened the other day, but dark humor is up more than that, you know, and that show that there's proof of that because look at Jimmy Kimmel, and everybody's complaining that he's off because his dark humor was just like. I don't understand. Like you guys know what I'm talking about because whenever there's a shooting, like he comes out crying. He comes out, like announcing that. That's the very first thing, like he doesn't want to announce, like, oh, I'm Jimmy Kimmel, oh, I'm your host. No, like the first thing he talks about is honoring people who lost their lives. And there was more shootings after Charlie Kirk. there's other more shootings, and he didn't even acknowledge those shootings. And I'm just like what's so different about Charlie? He was a human being like everyone else too, of course, but he didn't mourn for a loss of his life. I mean, Jimmy Kimmel is a husband. He's also a father. He has kids. He brings his kids to his shows sometimes, like even FaceTiming other guest appearances whenever COVID was happening. Like he had his kids, on the show with him. But then why is he making fun of Charlie for? He should understand who Charlie Kirk was. He was just like him, like a family man. Like I don't understand Jimmy. Like it's very sad, and and the thing is, it's like the other shootings right now, nobody's talking about it. Not because of everyone's focused on the funeral, yeah, not because everybody's focused on like Charlie, but why isn't anybody showing the other shootings that are happening right now today? It's getting worse, guys. I mean, you guys have to realize that okay, you know what? Let me just bring this up real quick. We all heard about the Bigfoot, Wendigo, Boogeyman, and like the Slender Man and other stuff like that. People they have that talking Yeti on AI, making funny commercials and ads and everything like that. But like Chupacabra, but what La Llorona, but what I'm trying to say is that when people come up with these certain type of stories, saying that they've seen aliens and they're trying to tell everybody that aliens are coming back, it's like what's the point of making up these type of stories and characters, to scare people? And the reason why I'm bringing this up is because I mean we've seen some things, of course, we heard things, of course, but when it comes to spirituality, we react to negative things, and sometimes those negative things try not to make us see them. But like uh what was that boxer's name? That famous boxer who was exposing what's his name? He was exposing the Bohemian Grove. He saw that they were killing babies or eating babies. They were killing people, and now that the Bohemian Grove is now exposed, now it's like if you dare go to the Bohemian Grove like right now, are you go- are you gonna do is just find people dressed up in robes and different plays and everything to show you like, oh yeah, come on guys, this is the Bohemian Grove. Oh yeah, that's what that kid was saying, and I mean they moved their different part to a land, to a different land, so they can do their secretive stuff now from now on. Now that the Bohemian Grove is exposed now, and Ryan Garcia, that's his name. He we don't really hear much from him for a while. I understand that he wants to focus on himself, and he did another fight, yeah, a couple months ago, I believe, and he's a really good fighter, you know, and but like he knows a lot of things, and that other guy, Nick Kowalski, I do watch his videos too. Like I do receive some of the things he says, and like he said he's seen some things too, like in Hollywood or in different types of parts of the industry. Like just people dressed up into bunny demonic outfits, dancing around into jail cells and cages, and which is pretty and like ridiculous. And so, but the type of people that we meet in general, like we meet friends or acquaintances or coworkers or family. I mean, I guess some of us, we all have that one family member who's just off. Like he's probably like mentally ill, or, well, I wouldn't say that, but you guys know what I mean, maybe. But I'm not sure if you guys relate to this, but especially when it comes to coworkers and everything else, we just we this has been going on for a while. Just exposing like different types of aspects of darkness. Like just like personality and everything. I had a friend of mine that I used to hang out with, and we used to smoke pot together. And whenever we did, he used to act up once in a while. Like he did tell me that he went out to the street naked, and he used to talk to voices in his head. And we were watching Tom Hardy's Venom, the first one, and he said that the part where he first hears Venom's voice, like when he says, don't open that door, when those guys about to bust in and arrest him for stealing the symbiote. Um, he says that he relates to that. Like he says that whenever he smokes or whenever he's off his meds, he hears a voice like that, exactly like that. And he used to tell me that he used to hear other people's spirits. Like he can tap into like the spirit realm or something and hear other people's voices. If you want to talk to somebody's if you want to talk to your friend who you haven't talked to in a while, like he'll he'll tap into their spirit and he'll talk to them. His spirit will talk to his spirit, his soul, his soul and that person's soul, which is very deceiving. But that's supposed to be schizophrenia, of course, because later on he ended up getting off his meds and he didn't take them anymore, and it just got to the point where he got worse. Sometimes he got physical, and sometimes he did things that were like off the line, way off the line, and for a while, I ended up, just stopped distancing myself from him, like because sometimes, like you just gotta cut people off sometimes, but like I said, there's a difference between self care and selfishness, and and that's when it comes to family. That's when it comes to people in general, because we don't know what their type of personality is when it comes to darkness. Whether it's dark humor or anything like that. But you can't judge a person if they're dark humor, but you have to ask them why do they have dark humor? What's so great about dark humor? Why is there dark humor? It's not just. It's not all about being soft. It's not about being masculinity and dismasculine somebody to feminize somebody. This is not what it's about. What I'm talking about is that dark humor is getting worse, and it's concerning. It's questionable, and we just have to realize that, can it get worse? I mean, is spirituality actually real? Like, why are people like this now? I mean, did Adolf Hitler have dark humor while he was doing the things that he was doing to people? Like the horrific, terrifying things was doing. That kid who was at Mari Emanuel's church. He's that guy who wears that hoodie, and he has that beard, and he's from Australia, and I'm not sure if you guys know who he is, but I'm pretty sure some of you do. But that kid, that Muslim kid, he snuck into his church, and he brought in a knife, and he was waiting for his opportunity, and then he went up there and he did what he did, and Mario Emanuel, he eventually recovered, of course, like in Jesus' mighty name, hallelujah, and but that kid was laughing, he was smiling, and it was funny to him. They had him pinned down when they called the cops. He was just smiling. It was funny to him. But is that just as bad as dark humor? Is that just as bad? Because what he did was an act, and and the thing is, it's like the act that he did was attempted murder. You can attempt somebody with murder with dark humor these days. I Sometimes I used to go on Bigo app, and sometimes like I do, like just to talk to different people. Like a few years ago I used to do that, and then different people like around the world, or mostly around the country, and this person I met, people use dark humor all the time. But it's got to the point where it's just pretty much being keyboard warrior wise, and manslaughter. Manslaughter can be used and tolerated within dark humor. And it's a demonizing trait from somebody to use dark humor, especially manslaughter. Why is there manslaughter? Manslaughter is when you use tactical words to get somebody to do something horrible to themselves. And how is that not spiritual? How is that not like tapping into? Like it's an dark humor is another form of that. And and it's like I had friends who had dark humor. Like a friend of mine told me that in 2020 when Kobe Bryant passed away, him and his daughter during that helicopter. As a Lakers fan myself, like when I went to work, I used to work at a restaurant in that year, and then one of the coworkers said something pretty messed up about Kobe Bryant, you know, and then I had another friend of mine, like he had a picture of Kobe Bryant's daughter, and the bottom of that picture it was fried meat, and you guys know what that means, and you know, and it's like, do we? I mean, you can't get mad about that, and you can't laugh about it. So why can't you? But why can't you get mad about that? I mean, the person who's laughing about that has done nothing wrong. They haven't said anything. Well, their reaction is wrong, of course, but they haven't done anything wrong. They haven't said anything wrong except what they're laughing at. But you have to question this. Why would they laugh at it? Why would that be funny to them? And what what makes them laugh at it? What makes them act like that? Is it somewhere in the past? Do they want to act like that on purpose so they can feel powerful, or it's just that we have to wonder why dark humor can be a thing. We have to like wonder why it can be helpful, it could or it can just like be fixed. This is not just being soft. This is about concerning of what can lead into something else. I mean, some serial killers they've done things to animals before they started doing things to people, and such as drug cartels. Like the way how they torture their own different gang members, the way how they torture them, and like other drug cartels capture other drug cartels, and the way how they torture them is something out of a horror movie, like a very very bad, bloody, gory horror movie. And this is reality. This isn't a movie. This is reality. And one time I saw this one person. He was part of a gang in the cartel in Mexico. He used to wear a clown mask. They were like some type of clown gang cartel guys or whatever. And they had actual audio footage that he got, like he did something to another gang member, and he was supposed to be faceless, no flesh, but he was still breathing. He was still talking, and he was saying, "Do you want some water? Oh, here's some water." Like being comedic with it, kind of like DC's Joker. Like all the Joker does is he shoots at people, he laughs at people, he laughs while he tortures people, and we know how that character is. And when I was back in high school, like I remember when they came out with The Dark Knight Rises with Christian Bale and Tom Hardy as Bane, and that movie was very controversial. And it's because that when somebody came out in a movie theater, I don't know which state it was, I forgot, but some of you probably remember this, but it was when that person came out with a gun in a movie theater and he was shooting people. He took lives that day, and he was laughing like the Joker. He was smiling like the Joker. Like he had his eyes wide. That's what the Joker does. He shoots people and he laughs. This guy was trying to be that character. That this character provoked him to be like him. And then and then I told my aunt, like maybe like a week later or a few days later, like I told her that, like, "Oh, we're just gonna go to the movies, just me and my dad, or we're gonna go see the new Batman, Dark Knight Rises." And then she gave me a look like, "Oh, really?" It's like, like, please don't do that. Please, like, but we when we went to the theater, this this man at the snack bar, like he asked us, like what movie are we gonna go see, and then and then and then like I said Batman, and then he gave me a high five, like some type of homie, like gangster high five, like he's just a regular guy, and then he was like "Hasta la vista," you know why? And it's like you gotta be kidding me, man, like what the heck, like. I'm laughing because I'm frustrated. I was frustrated back then. With my aunt looking at me that way, and just that reaction. It's like, well, I just got frustrated because it's like like I don't understand why you would say that to me. Like why me? I mean maybe it's because some people know for sure that nowhere's safe because of a movie, just of a movie. And then and then when it comes to like other people just acting a certain way, we had that tragedy back then with Gabrielle Giffords. My mother, she used to work with her, and she worked at a place called SIMG. It was an office. It was a place to help people with their businesses or other retails and everything like that when it comes to other companies. And then she was a good worker there. And whenever she went to the bathroom, she always came across Gabby. Yes, Gabby Gifford. She came across her, and this was before she made it into Congress. This was before that she was elected to be Congress. And she was told my mother that yeah, I'm going to be in Congress, like someday, and I'm working on it. Oh yeah, I'm talking to a few people already, and congratulations. And she always met her in the bathroom. And then that tragic morning of what happened, and with that, my mom cried, because they announced tragical news. She knew the man, Gabriel. He was that man. He was that man who that passed away that day. And then she cried when she realized that he passed away, and she cried because her friend Gabby, like of what happened. And then a few years later, in 2019 or 2018, I think. No, what? No, 2017. In November, I started working at the Safeway, that same exact Safeway of when it happened, of the incident. It was that same store. They had the names of the people who passed away on a rock, as a little statue. It was very tragic, and but in Jesus' mighty name, Galbo Gifford is healed. Like she's walking like nothing, like nothing happened. But we still mourn for the little girl. We still mourn for that man Gabe and the other lives who were lost. And and as we mourn for the people who lost their lives in 9/11, and people make dark humor stuff about 9/11 as well. And like I saw when they used to make Vine videos back then. I thought it was funny when um, when they did videos like King Pat. She did funny videos. Like I used to laugh at Vine videos. It was a thing. Like I remember who remembers Vine videos? Like 10-second comedic videos of short skits of how we can relate to of life and stuff like that. Like do it for the Vine. Like we all remember those Vine videos. And I was in high school. And then there's this one video of Woody and Buzz Lightyear. They were in the sky, and Woody, it was that scene from Toy Story when they were trying to make it into that semi truck to get back to the gang. And it was when Woody said, like, Buzz, we missed a truck. We're not aiming for the truck, and suddenly in that Vine video, it cuts to the plane hitting the building of 9/11. And and I was watching reaction videos of that, and some people were bursting out laughing. Yeah, like people were bursting out laughing, and some people said it's not funny, and that's the same exact thing what's going on right now with Charlie Kirk. Some people are laughing, some people are are crying. So why is that? Why are people crying and why are people laughing? And some people are secular with it. Some people don't know what they believe in. They don't know if there's good or evil or liberals and Democrats or anything. But all that matter is that there is laughter and there is mourning and crying. So what side are you on right now? What kind of person are you right now? Do you care about people except Charlie Kirk and his family, or do you care about what happened to Charlie Kirk and other people who are going through loss too? And and if you care about people struggling, if you care about people who lost their lives except Charlie Kirk, then why is that? Is it because of things? Is it because of the things that Charlie said, or is it because he might have been a racist, or did he say certain things that are racist? Because all I know is that on his own podcast show, he talked about that this other this black man, I forgot his name, but he was a black male. He was on there, and he said, Charlie, we thank you that you were able to bring as much as stu- um black students from the community to be in these universities. We couldn't have made it in there if it wasn't for you, Charlie. Candace Owens, she's known to be a good minister, of Jesus Christ, and um, and as a black woman, she was friends with Charlie, and they grabbed protest signs and put it in their office, and they make fun of it, saying that Charlie Kirk hates black women, he hates black people, the black community. He says all black people are dumb, and she was holding that sign, laughing. No, knowing that it's BS. Charlie Kirk is laughing with her too. But I'm not sure what other videos that we see or what we hear, but all I know is that the Bible tells us that judge and you won't be judged. But you have to look in a deeper perspective. What does that mean? Judge and you won't not be judged. Let me tell you what that means, and let me tell you what it means. I've known someone who hated me. Well, a lot of people, like more than once, of course. But for example, you can hate somebody with all your heart, thinking that this person thinks they're all that. You're judging this person thinking that they're all that because the way how they look. This guy looks all that. He's all handsome. He acts this way. He does this way, but you don't know what they do behind closed doors. It's not, behind closed doors cannot mean something bad all the time. It means you don't know who they really are. You don't know who they truly are. So why do you hate them? Why do you hate them? It's because did you have a bad experience with someone who was like that before? Like, I met this person, I met someone like him before, or I met this someone like her before, and like I know what kind of person this is. No, you don't. No, you don't. You know why? Because you're not God. You're not self-divine. You can't figure people out that way. I don't care. You can use a little demon time. You can use a little tarot card magical BS stuff, and thinking that you can figure somebody out because guess what? You're not God still. You can use all this false spirituality of magic and thinking that you got someone figured out, but you're not God at the end of the day. You don't know everything. You don't. I don't care what you're using. I don't care what kind of what you're going to for sorcery or wherever the heck. But you don't know somebody. You don't know me. You don't know him. You don't know her. You can't say that, oh, this person's all that, this person probably does this or that. No, no, no. I mean, if you do judge somebody that way, thinking that they're a bad person because of one small little thing, I mean, of course we can figure out somebody with one small little thing, but Sometimes you can be wrong. There's a good chance where you can be wrong. And and when you do figure somebody out, what happens when they prove you're wrong just by being themselves? I mean, I, I mean, if this does happen, if you do judge somebody, if this does happen, and this person does prove you wrong just by being themselves, and then people are going to get mad at you for misleading them, it's like this was a good dude. This is a good person. She was a good person. Why are you getting us to hate them for? Guess what? You are being judged now. So do not judge, and you won't be judged. But if you do judge, you will be judged by the end of it all. Judge not, and you will not be judged. And that's what it means to not judge somebody. Because if you do, at the end of the day, you're going to be exposed. So why can't you just give somebody a chance? And if that person does hurt you, then move on then. Let this give you a good confirmation to give you a good chance that you can find change when you keep giving somebody a chance. I mean, if this person doesn't have, I mean, of course, like sometimes we can find somebody that we can be attracted to at the end of the day. There's nothing wrong with that. But on a deeper level, you don't know what kind of person they truly are. I mean, the scripture does say in Proverbs 31 that looks are deceiving, but someone who fears the Lord is is everything. But I mean, Proverbs 31 is when a man is seeking a wife, of course, you know. So like looks are deceitful and charm is deceitful, but a woman who fears the Lord, you know, is everything. But that can also mean for a brother, of course, in Christ, you know, like you don't know what kind of man he is, you don't know what kind of confidence he does, or what kind of lifestyle that he's achieving right now. But the reason why you're judging somebody is because the world is telling you to judge them. The world has its style, you know. Reject a good guy, reject a nice guy, Vic, I forgot his name, but he's like a coach, motivational speaker, kind of like Tony Robbins and David Goggins. Like he doesn't believe in the nice guys finish last, but uh, from a perspective these days, a nice guy who's attractive, this goes for a woman. If you're attracted to a nice guy, you want to make sure that he has a balance. You want to make sure that he's acting nice on purpose. And you know better that he's not nice. But you like the fact that he's acting nice on purpose. And later on down the road, you don't care. You don't care if he's going to reveal himself to you. And then you're going to say all men are trash. And 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 it's like he did that on purpose, but you wanted to take a chance to see if he was actually nice, because the bad boys with the tattoos and the masculinity, and well, it's false masculinity, and because he can fight, he's in the street, he's a thug. I mean, those are only the type of guys that a woman wants these days. Somebody who's from some guy who's from the hood. I mean, some guy who's all about that street life. Somebody who they're not. When did this movement happen, ladies? Come on. Oh, well, when did this happen? When did you want a man who can fight, who's all about the hood, who's all about this and that? Like when did that attractiveness happen for you? Why are you attracted to that? Is that what you are? Are you a hood girl? I mean, are you a thug too? Like, are you going to take somebody's life someday? Are you going to point the gun at somebody's forehead and pull that trigger and see like everything go everywhere? Is that what you want to put into your mind? Is that what you want to do to somebody? Do you think you can inflict your knuckles and your fingers into a roll that becomes a fist, and and push it very hard back and forth to someone's bone into their face? are you going to be willing to feel that? Because when you do that, you're going to be like, I'm sorry, I'm sorry. No, 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 no. You're not all about that, girl. You're not all about that. No, no, no. You're not, lady. But I can tell right now is that even men are trying to be that way, and they're struggling to see if they can fight or not. I mean, some guys can fight out there, of course, but my grandfather, like he says that like all these youngsters cannot go out and fight with their fists anymore. It's all about throwing rocks now, like kindergartens, and it's true. Literally, I used to take the bus to work in and out, and it was a dangerous area. I used to work at Burlington Clothing Store, and it was a very dangerous area. And I used to take the bus home, all the way to the bus station, and go back to the apartment. But one day, one day when I got to the bus station, I sat next to this older man and to this other guy. He was on. He was on drugs, of course. He was talking to this bird. And he was kind of high, and it wasn't pot. It wasn't. It was something else. And this other guy that he was talking to with, like he was being chilled with, he mentioned something about color. Like he said, "Oh, you're colorful," and then he said, "Don't call me that, man." And then it got to the point where they were going to fight each other. And suddenly, this guy he unlocked his belt. It came out as a metal chain, and he whipped his head, and he was it was like red Gatorade was just poured all over his head to wash his face, but it wasn't Gatorade. If you guys can just if you guys know what I mean. It was a very it was a very yeah, an intense situation, of course, but people were coming out of the bus, and they witnessed that, and everybody's gone on that man's side, and they were saying, "Oh, don't treat a man like that. You can't do that to him." He's like, "Ah, he was picking on me and whatever," and like just people from the street, stuff like that, and this one man, like he said, "You want to throw it down with me? Come throw it down." Like he was way taller, and this man, he's trying to slash him too, and then he flinched. He flinched, like he really flinched a lot. This guy, this tall guy, and so he called up his homies, and his homies came, and suddenly the man started to run away. And then when the homies cornered this man against the wall, they weren't even curb stopping him. They weren't even trying to like throw hands. They grabbed rocks and they were throwing at him. They were literally grabbing rocks from the ground and throwing at him like they were like in the first grade, literally. And the cops came obviously, and like everybody scattered, and like some nobody else got hurt, of course. And sometimes when I came back from the bus station just to get an MRI test, from like from car accident that I experienced, there was another incident too where the bus station was taped and everything like that, and it was a crazy area. And but it's true though, like nobody wants to like nobody wants to like fight with fists anymore these days, but that's what the ladies want. Do you have a man who wants to fight with fists? I mean, is he even here with you right now? I mean, is he still seeing you or something like that? I mean, come on. But let's be real. I mean, come on. Let's be real. Years from now, I got a question. Years from now, do you see yourself being married with kids? Do you desire that? Because if you do, then you got to make a decision right now, and you got to make that decision right. Yeah, there's a right decision for it right now. Are you willing to stop being this demonic woman that you want to be, where you're saying that you want to kill somebody, you want to hurt somebody, you want to stab, and you want to curb stop somebody with your hands, or do that to another guy, because you can't beat another guy up. You can't. I mean, okay, okay, okay. Come on, just bear with me. Just bear with me. I mean, this is what I'm saying. Of course, I mean, there's stuff like I mean, well, women can fight. Of course they can. Of course they can. But we're getting to the age where women are calling themselves alpha females now. You are not equal. Your body is not equal to a man. I'm sorry. God made you different, and that's a beautiful thing. God made your body to take care of a baby. God made your body to be loved physically by a man. You are supposed to let your baby feed off of you. You're supposed to let your man take care of you physically, mentally, spiritually. But that's not what any of you women want these days. So what do you want? You don't know what you want. You don't know. You know why? Because you're talking to different other men. So what do you want? Let me tell you something. What you want and need is not the same. So let's talk about what you need, women. What you need is to be disciplined. And this is what I mean to be, and for you to be disciplined, this is what it means right now. For you to be disciplined, it's not punishment. It's admitting that you're a woman who should, well, not should, but is feminine. You are a woman who needs to be feminine and quit being masculine. If you're masculine, then you better take care of all the bills. You better go out there and work every single day. And and I mean, are you willing to let your man stay home all day and let your kids over here like be home, and are you willing to beat somebody up? Are you willing to beat another man up? Are you gonna be like, let's just face it, come on, are you really gonna go out there and walk a sidewalk and just beat another man up, thinking that you're a gangster? It's not about being a gangster. It's all about being a man, right? I mean, come on. What's the difference? What's the difference between being a gangster and being a man? Being a gangster is it's being a coward. You don't want to take care of a family. You don't want responsibility. You don't want anything that's good. You want to be seen. You want to show people that that you're important, which is not going to happen. And here's the thing. If you want to live that lifestyle, it's going to it's going to ruin your future. I mean, this is to a woman right now. The lifestyle that we're talking about right now, the one that you want to choose right now, what's going to happen in the future, years from now? You're going to lose your mind. You're not going to have a time machine. You're not going to go back to the future. You're not. I mean, heck, you might as well just try to figure out how to invent a time machine right now, and then complain how things could have been, who you could have been with, what you could have been, or what kind of women you could have been with, and you could have become then. Now it's your chance. You gotta change, woman. You gotta change, women. Come on. Stop being masculine and start being feminine. Start being a mother. Start being that godly Christ woman, because that's a beautiful thing. You're called to be beautiful. You're women were made differently. You guys were made differently physically. So you guys are called to look beautiful and innocent and feminine, and and the Bible says that a Proverbs 31 woman, a wife, a mother, a Proverbs 31 wife and mother encourages her family. If anything goes hectic, that their type of strength that they have is to be a loving mother no matter what. The type of loving mother that loves her children. The type of loving wife that loves her husband, and she reminds his husband for who he is, so he can be encouraged to be the man and father of the house of who he is, mentally, physically, and spiritually. The Bible says that sex was created for two people to be one. So that's why you can never get rid of a heartbreak, of a breakup, because if you did sleep with this person, they're never going to go away in your mind, because if you slept with them, then it's called a soul tie. A soul tie is when you allow somebody to for their personality to become yours. And the longer you know this person, especially when you sleep with them, their body organs are going to be a part of yours, and you're never going to see this person again. And so this person is going to be with you spiritually and physically. That's why marriage is so important. That's why having no having sex before marriage is important, because it's a safety thing. It's for your own safety and concern, for your well-being. That's what God was trying to tell us, and that's what God has been trying to tell you, especially through the Bible. That's what sex was made for. So what I'm trying to say, after everything that I'm trying to say right now, is that dark humor and the way how society is when it comes to accepting loss, accepting toxicity, and to normalizing it, it can cause more physical violence. And that's why there are so much shootings these days. That's why so many people are losing their minds. It's not only demonic. It's not only spiritual from evil entities, but it's you. It's you causing it. Who were you sent into someone's life to hurt them? Who were you sent to be a vessel, an evil vessel, to cause somebody to hurt others, or or yourself? You you better change. This is your time. This is your moment. This isn't me bashing. This isn't me hitting you in the head with the Bible. This is me telling you that there is so much good for you. You can change your personality just by giving yourself a chance. And giving yourself the chance to change is when you stop going to church. You stop practicing religion and start doing relationship. Because anybody can go to church and say that they do the works of God when they don't. Okay, so right now I need to put my foot down and tell you this. Church is not going to save you. Religion is not going to save you. Going to church every single Sunday is not going to save you. What you need to do is know that Jesus Christ is real, and he's a friend of yours. You're never too far gone of what you've done. So I want to tell you this: do not be too convicted right now, because God does love you, and He does want the best for you. And in order for that, you have to admit that He's the only one who can change you, because He's not a human being. He's He's a heavenly divine being. He can do things that no human being can do. He does the impossible. He's a real life superhero. But are you willing to take that step? Are you willing to let God change you? God does love you. You're not too far gone from Him. Your mistakes don't define you. As long as you truly do want to change and let go of this evilness, all you have to do is just say, just talk to Jesus as a friend. You don't got to say a certain type of prayer or anything, or talk to Him in a certain way. No, no, this is how you talk to Him. I mean, just talk to Him like this, like Jesus. Like, if you're real, just give me a sign. Help me change, and like, the world's getting more hectic. Just help me change, Jesus. And I do want to be better. And then there you go, just like that. Talk to Him like that, and then He will show you the steps. He will reveal to you in a way how we cannot explain it, how I cannot explain it, because this journey is yours. So Jesus Christ loves you. He really does. And we need to realize that everybody is loved. Everybody's not too far gone. And God bless everybody in Jesus' mighty name.